Am I the asshole for potentially getting my wife in trouble with her hospital? My wife just started her second year of medical residency. She likes to talk about her workday, and I understand it's important as a way for her to de-stress, considering the workload that residents have. However, she tends to overshare medical details about her patients. For those who don't know, medical information is protected by a law called HIPAA. And it is pretty strict about how patient information needs to be protected and anonymized if sharing is needed. I've reminded my wife several times that she is telling me patient details that are in violation of HIPAA. She keeps brushing it off. First by telling me that HIPAA doesn't apply between spouses. It absolutely does. And then by telling me that she trusts me and needs me to just listen to her. That's not the point. I've repeatedly tried to explain to her why she needs to stop, but she hasn't. A few days ago she told me about a patient she saw, and even without names I figured out that it was the son of someone I knew, and they probably wouldn't want me to know that information. I again told my wife to stop, and again she brushed me off. A couple days later I was at a gathering where one of my wife's friends, who is also her fellow resident, was present. I pulled her aside and explained what was going on and asked her to talk with my wife about the seriousness of what she was doing. She said she would. Apparently she didn't talk with my wife but reported her to the hospital's ethics board, and now they want to meet with my wife. She is furious with me for reporting her and says she can't trust me anymore. I've told her I'm sorry this is happening, but I didn't ask her to be reported. I just wanted someone to explain to her what she was doing was wrong because she wasn't listening. When I did, she thinks I am a huge R. I think this is only an issue because she was essentially repeatedly breaking the law. Am I the asshole? Info: was your wife just telling you situations they were dealing with at work? Or were they literally telling you the exact names, ages of their patients? I completely understand her need to vent about their day and stating about I've had a patient with X scenario or I had to perform CPR on a patient isn't violating HIPAA, as they're just scenarios or examples of things that have transpired throughout the day. If they were literally giving names and specific identifiers, then yeah, it's a violation. You're the asshole. My wife is a healthcare provider. I know exactly what you are doing. You are using HIPAA to get your wife to stop talking about work. I have done the same thing for years. But you don't get her reported and ruin her career. If she loses her career, she will divorce you. You're the asshole. Unless she is giving you first and last names, medical record numbers, date of birth, and/or social security numbers. You are assuming the patient is someone you know. Healthcare workers see an insane amount of people per day, and it's doubtful they are people you know. If you don't want to hear her vent, but her a journal to vent in, you potentially just blew up her career. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. If she doesn't get dismissed from the residency program over this, she will be lucky. Either way, she needs to seriously re-evaluate whether she wants to stay married to someone who can't keep their mouth shut. Spouses should be able to discuss things behind closed doors without concern about it going any further. Years ago, there was a leak in Hub's office. The boss told different people different stories and waited to see what came back to her. The leak was fired. Sheesh. You're the asshole. My husband is an doctor and they all share stories. You could be massively destroying her career she's already invested years in. It's an emotionally and physically taxing job. And it's understandable to vent to your so. Trust is everything. I would divorce you. But I'm very unforgiving. You're the asshole. She didn't tell you who it was. You assumed. Not the asshole. I'm so taken aback by the number of YTA responses here. I'm guessing everyone giving that judgment is not in the healthcare is in it and either lacks integrity and/or the understanding of the immense importance of confidentiality. There is a right way to vent in healthcare and she chose the wrong way. Hopefully, the ethics board will be the wake-up call she needs. Sometimes you can be right and be an asshole. Your wife is in the wrong. But it seems like she's only telling you. You had a choice, you're not going to share or do anything bad with the info. Right? You could have kept pushing back on her. Even walking away every time you felt she was sharing identifiable information. And if she genuinely is only telling you, there's little actual harm done. If she's telling other people as well, that would have come back and bitten her hard eventually. Without your involvement. So you're the asshole for reporting her to her coworker. Her coworker is, for lack of a better term, a mandated reported. You potentially have blown up your wife's career. If you didn't want to listen to her vent, just say so, and if she doesn't respect your boundary, walk away. I doubt your wife is telling anyone else this info, so if you can't be the person she vents to, at least get off your moral high horse and be someone she can at least frickin' trust. You're the asshole. Even if your wife shouldn't be sharing this information, it's a huge betrayal to effectively report her to her workplace. She's your wife. Your loyalty to her comes first. Do you also call the cops on her if she goes a few mph over the speed limit? Not the asshole. Primarily BC. Why the fuck is your partner repeatedly telling you things you have explicitly said you are uncomfortable hearing? And just ignoring that you are not comfortable? WTF. You're the asshole. Just say you wanted a divorce before all this and cut the story out. Your wife should have known not to share so much information with you. But there is no way you knew that much about HIPAA without knowing that reporting it to one of her co-workers would mean the co-worker would have to report it to the hospital. So it is disingenuous to claim that you didn't intend for her to get into trouble with the hospital. You're the asshole. I know HIPAA is a law and really should be followed, but my BF is a nurse, and of all people, medical professionals need to vent. I'm a teacher and I also vent to him about my students and their shenanigans. Just keep your mouth shut. Listen to your wife. And mind your own business. I get that HIPAA is a thing. But if she didn't share names, I don't see how it's an issue. You did some mental math to figure out the patient. Sounds like your problem to me. It costs $0 and 0 time to keep your mouth shut. Man shrugging, light skin tone. My father is a shrink. My mom is a surgeon. And I am an RN. She gave you enough information to identify the patient. That makes it a HIPAA violation. Not the asshole. You fucked up your marriage, pal. Not the asshole. There are ways to vent without violating HIPAA. She should have learned that long ago. I don't go to a doctor and expect him to explain all my details to their partner to the point they'd know me all my issues. That's a problem. She violated privacy. This isn't some friend you mentioned something minor for. This was a huge ethics violation. This behavior and shit coming on the internet is why people don't trust healthcare professionals. These comments are insane. Not the asshole. Glad one of you actually cares about patient confidentiality.